We're going to talk about squats and how to find the right squat that works for your body, the body you woke up in today. And the reason why I'm using the example of squats is that I think a lot of us know that we need to do them. We've been told that they're really good for building balance and coordination and bone density. And then especially as you get older, if you don't squat, then you lose your ability to squat. So it's super important that we find a variation of squats that we can use as an exercise tool to get stronger in. But the challenge is that sometimes we see a video or we're in a class and we're trying to do the squats like someone else and it doesn't work for our body and we wound up hating it and then we never do it again or we think we can't do it. So the key with exercise, the key with training smartly is to know that every exercise can be adapted and adjusted so it works for you, and that every exercise should be adapted and adjusted so it works for you, because that way you will be able to do it and build strength, balance, bone density, and all the wonderful things that a good exercise program can provide for you. So we're going to go over a couple of different squats, and I'm going to address a couple of the questions that I get from students about being able to do a squat that serves them, that works for their body. So the first one we're going to do is called a sit to stand. And to do this, we need a chair. So we're going to sit in the chair. And the key with doing these sit to stands, which I would call a preliminary basic squat, that doesn't mean it's easy, that doesn't mean it doesn't work, but this is kind of level one. What you should start with is you want to be able to hinge over from the hip. Now, what do I mean by that? You want to pivot from the hip like this versus moving from the spine like this. Let's see if you can pivot from the hips while you're sitting in the chair. Now, if you cannot, there's nothing wrong with you as a person, but you probably need to put some more cushion underneath your bum and lift yourself up and maybe have your hands in your thighs and push down into your thighs so you can keep that elongation of the spine as you pivot over. So you want to be able to have that hip hinge as a prerequisite before we move forward with the next step. And the next step would be a sit to stand. To do that, your hands are at your chest and you stand up and you sit down, which might seem simple, but when was the last time you did 20 in a row? So sit to stand is the preliminary basic squat that would help so many of us if we did this as part of our exercise routine. The next one that I just love in terms of building strength and capacity is an exercise called Stomp Squats. So if you're able to do sit to stand 20 times, then you can add in a stomp squat. And I just love these. Hands are at the chest, and yet we're going to stomp and stand up. We're going to come down. So this kind of impact with your feet is so good for building bone density, for building balance and coordination, and at the same time, you're practicing that super fabulous long spine. So those are the two chair ones, and once you get proficient at them, you can add in a weight. But I want to move on to the other kind of squats without the chair. So I'm going to put the chair to the side. We're going to talk about a squat without the chair. So what you want to do is you want your hand at your chest, and you want that same feeling that we had in the sit to stand. You want to come down, keeping your back long, and then bring yourself back up. So I love this variation, and just like the other two variations, when you're able to do 20 efficiently, you can add in a weight. But there's one question I get a lot when it comes to doing these kind of squats, especially those of us that love doing them, that want to get better at them, but we feel like we can't squat down without our lower legs tightening up or our heels raising up, and then we get nervous, we get off balance, and then we never do it again. So the key with that one is to place something underneath your heels. And usually that's the best solution, and it changes the entire experience. So I'm going to use a folded blanket. You also could use a towel or even a bit of a wedge underneath your feet. And you have the heels here. So now the challenge that so many of us have about squatting down and the heels coming up is eliminated. And if you're one of those people who like to squat, you have the strength in the legs, but what's stopping you is the tightness in your ankles or your lower limbs, this is usually the best solution. So again, hands at the chest, come down long back, push your heels into the blanket or towel, and then come up. And then when you're able to add on to that, you work on doing more, and then perhaps you add a load. But we'll talk about that another time. So those are our 4 variations of doing squats: sit to stand, stomp squats, regular air squats, and then having a blanket or towel underneath your heels. Let me know which one is your favorite. Let me know which one you are going to work with so that you can continue to get stronger. Remember that exercise works when you know how to work.